Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Share a Coke with a friend today. Not really too special, but just haven't done that entrance in a while. Usually I do that when we're going to really cook and talk about some juicy stuff. This will be a good preview for a solid card, but it's not one that I am literally going to say is going to be one of the greatest shows of all time, but I just haven't done that Coke entrance for a while. But what is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are live right here on YouTube. Maybe the first of two today. We'll get to the second one and what I may do tonight. We'll get to it. As I'm currently off work for the rest of the week. Took a few vacation days. I wanted to do some yard work with the wife. Unfortunately, because of certain things, we can only do so much with it. So not going to get as far with that as we were hoping to. But I at least am taking some time myself, coming down here, and doing my live preview and predictions for WWE Backlash 2025. This coming Saturday, May 10th, 2025, at the Enterprise Center, or I'm sorry, because I watched The Big Bang Theory, and when Raj asked, can you rent the car from Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. This is heavily being advertised, the last time ever match with John Cena and Randy Orton for the Undisputed WWE Championship. And so here's my thing. Overall, from the official card we have right now, with the 5 matches we have as of now, it's a pretty solid card. We have, the nostalgia match with John Cena and Randy Orton. Although with John Cena's new heel character, could it be a little different? We'll have to wait and see. We got Lyra, Valkyria, and Becky Lynch. We have an amazing Fatal 4-Way match for the U.S. title. I think that could be a show stealer. I'm really excited about that one for sure. The men's IC title match with Penta and Dom could be interesting. And also a match I didn't think we're going to be getting yet, but we are getting it here, is Pat McAfee versus Gunther. I didn't think we were, obviously they've been teasing it. I thought maybe we'd be holding off on that for a little bit, but nope, we're getting it here at Backlash. I don't know for sure if this card is complete or not, to be honest, because I thought we were going to be getting Jey Uso versus Logan Paul, but after what happened on Monday on Raw, I don't know now for sure if we're getting it or not. Because Triple H likes to keep these B-level shows at 5 matches. So I don't know if he's going to add Jey Uso and Logan Paul. Let me just say this, though. They really fooled me. Because I was worried when they had Seth Rollins challenge Jey Uso for the title on Raw this past week. I was worried they were going to give they were going to give Seth Rollins the title and already pull the plug on Jey Uso's world title reign. But they kind of played the story for the rest of the year. And I'm sorry, I would like this. I know at some point this year Seth is going to dethrone Jey for the title, but they did act like on Raw they had this all locked in the bag. It was kind of like remember the Raw after Mania in 2014 when Triple H was challenging Daniel Bryan for the world title, and they acted like they had it all in the bag. Basically, it was kind of the same thing. And then CM Punk returned this week and save Jey Uso. Now, I will say this, though, because I know a lot of people think whenever Jey and Logan do go one-on-one, I think personally Jey needs to win that. Jey needs to get a couple wins at least with the world title. I know he's most likely going to drop it to Seth later on down the line, but I don't want them to keep doing this thing where they give Jey a match, they give Jey this match, protect him in the loss, because I feel like now that we've given Jey the title, there have been some haters about that. We gotta prove that Jey is not gonna be just getting a title for a cup of coffee, then dropping it to someone else. I know that could maybe be part of the eventual plan to maybe turn Jey Uso heel, because Jey has mentioned he does want to have one last heel run before he retires, but I don't want that to be a thing where they just, throw the title on Jey for a moment and then just like take it off as a joke, and people are going to be saying, we were right all this time and whatnot. So that's what I'm hoping for sure. So I don't know if that match is still happening or not. I don't know also if they're going to do something, because there is nothing on this card involving Seth Rollins' new stable. You would have thought for sure, like I said, I thought we were going to be getting the, the match with Rowan and Punk teaming up to take on Rollins and Breaker. But I don't know if that's not happening, or they could be doing a 6-man, the match at least with Punk and Sammy versus Rollins and Breaker, maybe if they do that. I don't know, though. And I'm also wondering if they are, in fact, going to be doing, if we are going to still be doing the match, because on SmackDown tomorrow, they are doing the match with Jade Cargill and Nia Jax, number 1 contenders match. Could they maybe be doing that match at Backlash 2 for whoever wins that match? That one, I don't think so. But you never know. So this could not be the final card. But even so, these 5 matches, this is a pretty solid card, I'd say, for a B-level pay-per-view. And hold on, I just checked my phone. Is the stream lagging? I hope it's not lagging that bad. Come on. Where is it? Just want to double check. Excuse me, I burped. It's lagging. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Well, there's no turning back now at this point. Well, I was going to keep going, see what happens. Maybe it'll get better. Oh, wait. Now I'm seeing it's not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. Maybe it'll get better. Who knows? But we're just going to keep rolling for now and see what we got here. Before we do go, though, get into the card, I am going to... I do want to address a couple of quick topics. 2 topics, actually, for wrestling before we get into the actual previews. I don't have really too much to say, like too many like crazy outcomes to predict for this card, but I do think on paper it's going to be a solid B-level show, I would say, for a good like cool down following WrestleMania. So I am looking to see, of course, where that goes. So before we do have one comment in the live chat saying breaking from American Lovers saying breaking news: Donald Trump has bought TKO. What would this mean for WWE? Not sure why that's being asked, but I'm not the type of guy who likes to talk about politics, and it looks like the stream's getting better now, so good. I'm not the type of guy to talk about politics, so I'm not really going to answer that question. I'm sorry. But thank you for stopping by, at least. But okay, I think we're good now. The stream's not lagging. I think we can move forward. So before I get started, I want to talk about 2 topics in wrestling news from the past few days. So earlier this week, it was announced, at WrestleMania 41, it was announced that AAA and WWE had signed a deal. WWE bought AAA Wrestling. And of course, there's going to be a Worlds Collide event between AAA and NXT, I believe on June 7th. They mentioned there's a handful of AAA stars who have signed WWE contracts. Now, when I say that, I'm not sure if that means that, of course, obviously they're still with AAA, but like they probably signed contracts to be like more featured with WWE than like the other AAA stars who may get like, handshake deals for making WWE appearances, but this is probably more of the bigger names that they can be involved in more bigger angles and storylines with WWE, whether it's NXT or main roster. There's only two of them, though, that I'm familiar with that got signed. One of them is El Hijo del Vikingo, which that is very exciting. I have seen a handful of his matches since he made some appearances in AEW, especially his match with Kenny Omega for sure. So that's a good one. But then there's another one that they did that I want to sit back and say, I get it. Even though I thought he was suspended, I also thought he was fired. I had heard like so many different stories about this guy. Honestly, I can believe any of them because of how controversial he is. I get it if you're AAA's biggest star. You're now under ownership of a company you once worked for. And I'm pretty sure WWE doesn't want to hurt the legacy of AAA. So getting rid of their top star wouldn't sit well. But from a fan's perspective, I don't like this. And that is the current AAA world champion, Alberto El Patron, or known in WWE as Alberto Del Rio. Yes, that same Alberto Del Rio, the Mexican aristocrat, whatever he was called, the same one who had a very complicated controversy relationship with Paige, well, now Saraya, and apparently he's been in trouble for a few other things before too. The same guy that got fired before for having some issue with an interviewer, and just all around, he has not built the best reputation. The fact he's back in WWE, apparently, under this contract, like I said, I think it's not a contract, it's not like he's going to wrestle for WWE and not AAA, no. He's with AAA, but obviously there's some people who should get some incentives for participating in WWE programming. And I get it. I completely understand why they would sign this deal, especially to AAA's world champion as well. You wouldn't want to do what Vince McMahon did and take over NXT in 2021, tear what was there completely apart, and just like start from scratch and ruining like what it once was. I get they don't want to do that. But based off this guy's history, I get it, but I still don't like it. I don't like it. Especially also because Saraya is a free agent currently. And she's supposed to be taking a break from wrestling. I could see her maybe going back to AEW. Or I was kind of hoping maybe she'll go back to WWE. AEW wasn't really using her. They completely botched her her Outcast storyline, which I thought when she did that storyline, I really thought they were going to basically have her like play the role she was supposed to play with Absolution when she came back in 2017. So, but then also I'm wondering, is she still like iffy medical wise, which is why that they were cautious with how they booked her. But I really thought there's a good chance she could come back to WWE because her contract was expiring. And I felt that, honestly, now that she's proven she can wrestle, she should. But now I don't know anymore because of Del Rio. Again, they had a very unhealthy relationship. And, you know, like, especially after all she's been through and all she's overcome. Do you really think she wants to work in the same company with that same man who made her life a living hell? I wouldn't want to if I was in her shoes. So that's the big downside. Like I said, the reason for the signing, I get it. But for those people who, like, you know, are huge Paige, Saraya fans who want her to come back to WWE, that may not happen now because Del Rio's lurking in the background. So, I don't know We'll wait and see how that goes. We'll see if some people said that Del Rio is a changed man. If he is, good for him. It's a thing I kind of want to be like, I'm not going to believe it until I see it. I mean, when Del Rio was here as a talent, like as an on-screen character, he was okay. He was the type of guy I felt like, he was in a position where he couldn't get any worse, but he also wasn't going to get any better either. He was like a solid piece that was just going to like stay where he was at, basically, I felt like. But I don't know. We'll see what happens and see like how much WWE does feature Del Rio. Like I said, he'll probably be at Worlds Collide. Maybe get some time with NXT stars. I don't know. But then again, there's also people who are saying, well, they released a lot of young stars and they signed a 47-year-old man who has a controversy past with WWE. I kind of understand that as well too. But we'll see what happens with Del Rio and his booking in WWE. I'm not sure what to expect, what's going to happen with it, but we'll have to go from there. The other one I wanted to briefly talk about is so an article from, I believe the guy's name, let me pull up my post. I posted about it on Instagram. Let me see here. Bill Apter, I believe the guy's name is. So, there's a follow-up to Braun Strowman's current status with the WWE following his second release, which I talked about in my SmackDown review last week, and how that was probably the one that bothered me the most, because I just feel like WWE has done Braun Strowman very dirty. Well, that is not quite the case. Because, first off, according to this article, Braun Strowman and the WWE did depart on good terms. No bitter terms at all were there. The main reason why they released Braun Strowman was because his salary was not justified by how much he was actually being used due to some injuries piling up on him. Strowman apparently has a 15% paralysis. Basically, he's 15% paralyzed in his left leg from a ruptured L5-S1 disc and subsequent surgery in his lower back. So he is basically wrestling with like some limits on him, which also may be a reason why WWE never didn't like get him back into the main event scene this second run back around. And apparently there's talks where like he still could be doing stuff with the company, but more so on like handshake deals, like basically like how Chris Jericho was before he went to AEW. He would come in for a few months and then go back away. That's what may be going on here with Braun Strowman, because of his health and some concerns of like how he could be used or what at this time, and getting a big committed contract to him may not be on the table. If that's the case, I understand. I kind of take back a little bit what I said last week. So more so makes me feel upset for Braun Strowman than bummed for Braun Strowman. Because if he in fact is wrestling with a 15% paralyzed left leg, then, or paralysis, whatever it is. I'm not a medical genius, guys. I'm sorry. Then I definitely can understand the position they're in with him. It makes me feel bad for him, though, because if that is the case, he probably is never going to be a world champion. He's probably never going to get that main event push and that they should have capitalized on him with in 2017. It's not going to happen if that is the real situation with Strowman. If he's going to come back, he's probably going to come back to continue to put people over. And I feel bad for him because, again, like Vince McMahon screwed up big time with him in 2017 when he didn't give him the title against Brock. And then, of course, in 2018, started to give him consolation prize after consolation prize. So, yeah, that's just disappointing to hear. Like, again, like, I get what the situation the WWE was in, but also it's just like, it just sucks because, like, now it's like, you know that, well, even if he was still there, there really is no way they can give him that main event push that he probably would have had because of his injuries. and because he's probably on borrowed time as far as how much longer he can probably do this. So I don't know what the future holds for Braun Strowman. I think there's a chance we could see him back for a few programs, but again, even if he comes back, his role is going to be so different. He's probably not going to get to the main event scene again, unfortunately. So yeah, give me your thoughts on the latest news about Braun Strowman, and also how you feel about Alberto Del Rio coming back to WWE. Leave your guys' thoughts again down in the comment section for that. We look like we do have Tyler in the live chat saying, "Hi Mike, and Cena and Orton is going to be crap." We'll see how that goes. Like I said, I don't think it will be crap, but it's going to be interesting because of the dynamic in the match. But yeah, without further ado, let's just go through these matches, and we will go on from there. And like I said, I'll mention at the end, there is a chance I may do a second live stream tonight. But it definitely won't be till at the earliest, probably 10 o'clock tonight. Because I am off working for the rest of the week. I'll explain what I'm going to do if I do go live again tonight. If not, then probably tomorrow I'll do this on the stream. But, so let's talk about the 5 for sure matches. And again, also, if they would throw in Jey Uso and Logan Paul, because I thought it was going to happen, but at this time it's not, Jay's got to win it. I know I don't like Logan Paul. I'm not going to deny that I do believe WWE will someday put the world title on him. But if they're going to do it Jay's first match as world champion on pay-per-view, I wouldn't do it then. I'm sorry, I don't want it to happen then. Jey Uso needs to at least prove his worth being in this position. So having him already lose the title, I think, would not be the right way to go. I mean, if he would eventually turn heel, then maybe. But I still think they shouldn't have Logan Paul beat him yet if he would wrestle. So if Jay and Logan do wrestle on this pay-per-view, Jay's retaining, in my opinion. So I think we're going to open up with the match I am probably the most excited about on this card. This U.S. title Fatal 4-Way match with Jacob Fatu, L.A. Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. Basically taking 2 matches from WrestleMania and putting it into one big match. And I think this will be an awesome match. LA Knight and Jacob Fatu had a great match at WrestleMania with that amazing spot with the BFT off of a moonsault. I thought that was amazing. We also have Drew McIntyre in there, coming off a victory, and obviously wanting to be a champion. But, of course, John Cena's a scumbag right now. He's occupied with Randy Orton. So him as after the U.S. title instead. Cool with me. And then Damian Priest still has some unfinished business with Drew McIntyre, gets involved. So on paper, that's 4 great names wrestling in this match. And I think it's going to be also a great way to get Jacob Fatu even more over, working with all 4 of these guys. The winner is going to be Jacob Fatu. Who he pins, though? I'm going to say he pins either LA Knight or Damian Priest. I don't think he's going to pin Drew. And heck, if you want to set up for a Drew versus Fatu match down the line for the U.S. title, I ain't saying no. Because I'm still saying also that I do believe when the time comes to split up Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, I still think Jacob should be the one to go face. Just my opinion. I think he's definitely already more popular, more over, and much more stronger booked than Solo ever was. Am I lagging again? Please don't tell me I'm lagging again. Oh, error message again. Whatever. Let me check this one more time. Sorry, guys. I don't like when it lags, but there's only so much I can do once again. That's not the worst, but it's not too bad. I'll be okay. Alright, anyways, moving on there. But yeah, Jacob Fatu, I think, will win the Fatal 4-Way match for sure. He's going to hold that U.S. title for a while. The second match, the one I'm probably the least excited for, but it should still be fine for what it is. Dominik Mysterio versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. So, I feel like they're going to keep the belt on Dom for a little while. Play up into this match a little bit more. The only way I see Dom losing this match is if Finn costs him the match and Penta wins the IC title. Now, the only reason why I'm thinking Penta could possibly win this is because I feel like they're going to start a feud based off how it was booked on Raw. Eventually, you're going to have a feud between Penta and Chad Gable. Or, I'm sorry, Penta and El Grande Americano, who apparently did win, is now the new WWE Men's Speed Champion. And I believe he does have his own graphic now, from what I'm aware of, on the WWE app. So I feel like that's the long-term story. So that's why I think there is a chance they may put the belt on Penta. But I still think, unless you're going to break up Finn, Dom's keeping it. I think this still, even though I think Penta is awesome, this still feels like a throwaway match to put on the card. So I think because of that, it's not being looked at as one of the most important matches on the card. I think Dom is retaining. But eventually, Finn is going to turn on Dom, or they will turn on Dom. I'm sorry, they will turn on Finn. And, but yeah, if they want to do an IC title match with Penta and El Grande Americano, take my money. That should be really good. So, there's that match. Then there's this one. This one will be great as well. The Women's Intercontinental Championship match. I believe this is the first time either of the women's mid-card titles are being defended on pay-per-view. The champ herself, Lyra Valkyria, taking on the recently returning and Bayley hating Becky Lynch. And she also tells us to take out your garbage. First off, give Lyra Valkyria the credit. She, again, we all know she's great in the ring. We all know she's still struggling character-wise, though. But I definitely felt the promos she cut on Raw this past week, like the zingers she had on Becky, which had a lot of truth behind them, were done very well good. And I feel like it was definitely one of Lyra's best promos. I think working with Becky and working with some of these more bigger names is going to help Lyra in the long run. Because again, she's got the in-ring down. Character-wise, not there yet. And then Becky being just savage as hell as a heel so far. Heck, she cut that promo on like that one interview recently where she took a shot at Bayley saying that she probably pays $100 to talk to her best friend. Because there's that one texting app that's out now, and I guess to talk to Mercedes Moné for one whole month, you have to pay $100, which is ridiculous. I'm not spending that much money, of course. And two, I'm a married man. I don't need to be wasting money talking to other wrestlers that are women, whatnot. But anyways, but I do think this heel character for Becky is very fresh. Lyra will be okay. She still has some work to do, but this is a nice way to kind of get her in the spotlight a little bit. I think Lyra's dropping the title to Becky here. Becky would win the IC title. And I think that's when we do the feud with Becky and Bayley. And then, gosh, I had something in mind after that with the IC title involved. But, yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Can't remember what it is now. If they don't do Lyra, or if they don't do, if they don't do Lyra, and if they don't do Bayley, man, who is that other one I thought of facing Becky for that women's IC title? I can't remember now, but at least that'll be interesting. Because also, with Becky, getting the IC title and increasing her stock again, when it comes to winning to do Becky and Bayley, I think that's going to finally be the feud that does help Bayley get like that direction for her babyface character. Because right now, the way Bayley's booked, it feels like Seth Rollins when he first turned face in 2016 after getting out of the Authority storyline. And for a while, it just felt like he was just a bland face. And then it was like, 2018 with the whole Monday Night Rollins and that gauntlet match where he kind of finally gained his momentum back again. I feel like that's where we're at with Bayley. But this feud here, and with Becky Lynch, of course, being a heel right now as well, this could help Bayley and get her back on track. So there's that match. Then we have Pat McAfee taking on Gunther one-on-one. So again, I knew we were getting this match after the recent segment on Raw. But I didn't think we were going to get it as soon as we were. I thought maybe Money in the Bank, if not SummerSlam for sure by then. but we're getting it here. And it should be a good match. Again, Pat McAfee is a special attraction. I doubt they'll ever put a title on him, but he is a great celebrity to make appearances. And I think he will put up a great underdog fight against Gunther. But there's no doubt about it, Gunther's gonna win. We'll get him back into the main event scene and fight Jey Uso. I don't know. They could. Which if they do, make that match 2 out of 3 falls. But I do wonder, though, if they would have Pat win this. And set Gunther in a different direction with this loss. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, though. But I do think this will be a great match for sure. And yeah, so I have Gunther beating Pat. And in the main event, in his hometown, Randy Orton will challenge John Cena one last time. And this time is for the Undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena's goal, again, is to completely ruin wrestling. And he's hoping to erase the Orton name. Because when he's done, he has taken this championship home with him. There will be a new title, but everything with Orton will start back at 0. So again, I know most of us are sick and tired of John Cena and Randy Orton fighting matches. This is the first time, though, they will have a match. Since I believe they said February 7th, 2017 on SmackDown. So it's been a while. And also, this has a totally different dynamic with Cena as the heel and Randy as the face. Cena's very old school heel right now. So I feel like something story driven is going to happen in this match. And I do feel like also with it being in Randy's hometown, home state, hometown, whatever you want to call it, this would be a prime idea for something else to happen to give Cena more heel heat. Honestly, what it could be, I don't know. I do think, we will probably see Travis Scott, no Rock. Heck, maybe we'll get Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker here. As I thought they were going to get involved at WrestleMania 41. They didn't. But either way, John Cena's retaining. John Cena is not losing this world title anytime soon, in my opinion. But it'll be an interesting performance. Like I said, the match at Mania, again, John's playing a character. He doesn't care about wrestling. He just cares about winning. So he's going to do whatever he has to do to win the match. And that's all he's going to do to defeat Randy Orton. So we'll see how that goes. But that's just my quick preview and predictions for Backlash. Again, I also talked about Alberto Del Rio coming back to WWE seemingly. And also I talked about Braun Strowman's latest status with WWE as well. So all that, guys, make sure you leave your thoughts again down in the comments section below. So, again, I am hoping to maybe do one more live stream today. But if I do it, it's not going to be until at the earliest 10 o'clock tonight. Because it's Thursday night. Law & Order SVU is on. I do want to watch my SVU. And then I'm going to do another video game Let's Play. Another video game live stream. Remember like a month ago, I did the Super Mario Party one, which I will definitely do some of these games again on another time, but do want to change things up. But tonight, I'm going to do Mario Kart 8. And I feel like that's the second game I wanted when I bought the Switch. So I'm going to do that one next. So if, of course, I'm awake enough, I will come down here, set it up. I'll also grab my headphones. That way I can hear the audio. And for maybe like an hour or two, we'll just chill, chat, have some fun like last time, and play Mario Kart. So that'll be the plan for tonight. Again, if I'm not too tired after my after I watch SVU. And then maybe I'll try to get a few more things uploaded tonight as well. I did upload, if you saw, 15 of my baseball players last night. Some of those have been a long time coming because I originally had all that footage for like those and the Brewers players before that, before I left for my business trip in January. And then something didn't export right and I lost all that footage. So that's me pretty much about getting caught to where I was back in January with those baseball players. But everything else is kind of on hold. I'm still, on a long road to getting that best and worst match series by year done right now. I'm making good progress with it, but still going to be a while. Maybe, though, when I get to a certain point, I'll take a break and do a couple other little things I want to do on the channel. But, all that fun. But yeah, so once again, before I check the live chat one last time, Jacob Fatu is going to retain the U.S. title. Dominik Mysterio should retain against Penta. Becky Lynch will defeat Lyra Valkyria for the women's IC title. Gunther will beat Pat McAfee, and John Cena will defeat Randy Orton for the Undisputed WWE Championship. And if Jey Uso and Logan Paul do fight, I am going to say Jey Uso should win that match. Sounds good? Excellent. I think only one more message in the live chat. It's Tyler saying, on Monday, I thought Seth was winning the world title. I did too, my friend. I really did too. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. Again, hopefully I will be live again tonight. Maybe you might see a couple other things get uploaded until then. Who knows? But yeah, make sure you guys check out all my content. Leave you guys thoughts out about everything. Again, about Backlash. Braun Strowman stats of the company. Alberto Del Rio may be coming back. Anything else you might want to talk about. Keep it civil, of course. Leave you guys thoughts down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to come on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, the Club of the Man 93. You can also follow me on TikTok at the Club of the Man 1993. Also, make sure to check out my Rusev turn alert that I uploaded before I did this stream as well. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your night. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tonight for my Mario Kart stream. And do not forget, guys, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself. And that is not to the pain, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!